If you've ever noticed that you deal with things quietly, almost as if your feelings come with their own privacy setting, this might feel familiar. It's that instinct to say, "I'm fine," even when something inside you is clearly not fine. That habit of solving everything in your head before anyone even knows something was wrong. That way you carry your struggles like they're fragile items other people shouldn't have to hold. From the outside, nothing looks unusual. People see independence, low maintenance, emotional strength. But inside, the silence has a backstory, and it's rarely as simple as, "I prefer keeping things to myself." For a lot of people, keeping problems private isn't a choice, it's a pattern, one built slowly, long before they realized it. One of the most telling signs is the way they rehearse conversations in their head, thinking through every word, imagining every reaction. It's not pointless overthinking, it's preparation, a way to stay safe. At some point, they learn that speaking up comes with risk, being dismissed, misunderstood, judged, or made to feel dramatic. So silence becomes control, a controlled story, a controlled environment, a controlled version of themselves. Even when someone asks, "Are you okay?" there's a moment of hesitation, not because they want to hide, but because they're scanning for danger. Will this be received kindly? Will it make things awkward? Will it change how this person sees me? People who internalize their problems often grew up around emotional unpredictability. Maybe their feelings were ignored. Maybe they were made to feel like a burden. Maybe their emotional world was too big for the people around them. So they learned something. Quiet is safe. Quiet is predictable. Quiet keeps the peace. And here's the subtle part. They don't necessarily avoid opening up because they don't trust others. They avoid it because they don't trust how they will feel afterward. The vulnerability hangover, the regret, the feeling of being too exposed. For them, privacy isn't about hiding, it's about protecting something delicate. And that's not weakness, that's protection. Another pattern shows up in how they take care of others. They're often incredibly supportive, great listeners, emotionally steady. The person who notices everything but reveals nothing, because helping someone else gives them connection without requiring vulnerability. It lets them be close without being seen too closely. And the irony is, deep down, they do want to be understood, but without having to explain themselves, without having to hand someone the blueprint of their inner world. What makes them feel safest is someone who notices their struggle without them having to say it, someone who reads the silence, not just the words. And here's where it gets interesting. Most people assume silence comes from insecurity or lack of confidence, but for many, it's the opposite. It's about control. Sharing a problem means letting someone into your emotional space, and you can't control what they do with that access, how they interpret it, how they react to it, how it changes the dynamic. People who keep things inside aren't emotionless, they just feel safer on the inside. With time, this becomes part of their identity. They become the strong one, the dependable one, the one who never falls apart. And once that identity sticks, breaking out of it feels almost dangerous. So before opening up, there's this quiet internal voice. If I say something, does it ruin who people think I am? If I show I'm struggling, does that change my role? If I open up, do I lose control? And so the silence continues, not out of apathy, but out of identity. People who keep their problems to themselves aren't cold or detached. They're often the ones who feel the most deeply, think the most intensely, and carry the most quietly. Once you see the pattern, it becomes obvious. It was never random. It was never about not caring. It was a form of emotional protection wrapped in habit, shaped by experience, and held together by identity. And once you recognize it, you can't unsee it. Awareness changes the way you move, it changes the way you understand yourself, and it makes the silence feel a little less mysterious. If this made something click for you, there's always more to explore. Understanding yourself is the beginning of everything.